Avatar: The Last Airbender Quest for Balance, developed by Bamtan Games and published by Game Mill Entertainment, is an action-adventure game set in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. There have been 4 Avatar: The Last Airbender video games, and a couple of The Legend of Korra games, with all of them getting mediocre reviews for not fully actualizing the potential the world of Avatar may have in a video game universe. Many were excited to see the franchise of Avatar plunging into the gaming market once again, but is Quest for Balance setting new heights for the series, or is it going to follow suit with the rest of the games?
Aang! Are you okay?
Hey, Katara. Hey, Sokka. Thanks for coming.
Well, I couldn't let you have all the glory.
The story for Quest for Balance is a pretty inventive way to trek back to the original classic story of The Last Airbender. The story takes place after the main story of the cartoon. Iroh, Bumi, and Pakku are drinking tea and playing Pai Sho in Iroh's tea shop. Iroh is expecting someone to join them to confirm some details. And at that moment, Zhang Ying makes her grand entrance. Zhang Ying is the director of the Ba Sensei players, and after the misinformation given in the Ember Islands players' play, The Boy in the Iceberg, she is determined to get all the facts straight for her play. Iroh, Bumi, and Pakku begin to recall events of the story as you play through each level, and also comment on some story beats.
People often talk about the calm before the storm. But this story begins with the storm before the calm. And
oh, storm before the calm. How clever. My, don't you have a silver tongue?
The story cutscenes of the game are presented in a graphic novel fashion and has a similar art style as the Avatar books. There are also some cutscenes during gameplay where the characters have some voice acting, and then when you're actually in the game, the characters will say one voice line with dialogue that pops up that you need to read. The presentation is pretty solid overall when it comes to telling the story, and I like the art of the comic-like illustrations, but other than that, characters are practically emotionless and stiff. Animation of the characters during gameplay is pretty rigid as well. Everyone has the same running animation, and they also run painfully slow. Characters' abilities and the actual bending powers look great, but it constantly feels like you are being held back. The art design of the environments are acceptable, and it's cool to be in the world of Avatar, but the levels are sort of bleak and lack the magic that made you love the series in the first place. Gameplay sees you going through key moments of the series as different characters of the story. Sometimes you'll play as Aang, running around the Beifong residence, and then the next chapter may see you playing as the Blue Spirit penetrating a Fire Nation fortress. Some intermediate levels see you riding an animal of some sort and playing a very watered-down version of an endless runner-styled game. There are some levels where you have to fight your way to a goal, and sometimes you are set in a town where the gameplay consists of purely exploring. You can play the game cooperatively through local or online multiplayer, which is a nice surprise and can offer up some fun. Puzzles are abundant, and there are a lot of them that are actually pretty clever, but they end up coming down to hitting something until it works. Get ready to hit a lot of boxes. You can switch between party members at any time, and all of the characters can jump, dodge, and have their own unique set of attacks. There is a basic attack, a heavy attack that runs on a cooldown that can be charged to turn into another attack, and then a special ability tied to that character. Katara's special ability is that she can heal, and Aang can switch to any bending that he's learned. There are also some combos that can be performed to unleash a strong attack. Actually fighting can be quite chaotic because all of the elements of fighting get in the way and are all jumbled up on the screen. Your party members, the enemies, all the different kinds of attacks, and the enemy's attack markers are all trapped in a small space, and you can't really make anything of it. There are also many times where the enemies can just stun lock you into falling over, and trying to switch to other party members to ease the situation can be a hassle.
Yay! Appa! Yeah! Yeah!
All right!
Completing quests and opening up treasure chests will give you Pai Sho tiles and coins. You can use the coins at shops throughout the levels to buy items that aid you, like food that heals your characters or potions that grant extra defense against fire. An item can be assigned to a button for a quick pick-me-up on the battlefield. Pai Sho tiles are used to upgrade your characters, each having their own skill tree to be explored. Through the skill tree, you can find new moves or upgrades to abilities you already have. Scrolls are obtained after beating chapters or bought for a high price at shop stands and let you learn something significant for whichever character that can use it. Progressing in the game feels fine, but none of the bigger and stronger attacks have any impact. The absence of impact overall in this game is disappointing. Bugs come abundant. One time Aang got stuck in a wall and it was a process to free him. You'll run into some weird design decisions, like sometimes the game will warn you that if you continue, you can't go back to finish up quests. Other times, if you go too far, the game just starts the next cutscene and you are off to a boss fight. It can be really annoying at times. After completing a level, you can go back to it in free play mode, where you can pick whichever character you want. And it is a necessity to get everything, but it is still a nuisance when I progress in the game on accident when I want to complete quests, explore, and level up before moving on. As a huge fan of the show, I really liked playing this game, but I was constantly hoping that the gameplay would get more intricate. Side quests and towns boil down to you running around the town slowly to complete them. The puzzles are fun, but it feels like they take up most of the game, and I would often wish the puzzle would be over so I can get back to the short-lived action. The animal sections are cool because it's Avatar, but they are lame and don't amount to anything. The game is very basic overall, and for something like Avatar that is filled with life and emotion, Quest for Balance severely lacks it. It is a fine game, but it is not what I wanted. But it's also good to have another Avatar game. I give Avatar: The Last Airbender Quest for Balance a 5 out of 10.